In this episode of Street Untitled, I open up for the first time ever about the events that took place that devastating day. I'll be going through with you why I'm no longer really focusing on the decisive moment. I'll also be taking a little bit of a look into the psychology of why us street photographers love monochrome. This is Street Untitled.
Hello, welcome to Street Untitled with me, Adam. Obviously, we're not on the street today, I'm at home. I apologise in advance for the lighting. It's not amazing, but it's the best of a bad situation. Currently, I'm in a room with one of them energy saving bulbs. It's fantastic at saving money because it produces no light. So, anyway, I've cobbled together some sort of lighting kit. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's crack on with this. Okay. Oh, another thing as well. I'm going to be going through with you an image that I captured, and it was a moment this poor young girl witnessed. It was a horrific moment, and she's going to have to live with that, and it wasn't an easy photo to take. It left me with a lump in my throat, but I was fortunate enough to capture the moment that's probably changed her life, and I'll be going through what that traumatic event was at the end of the video. Oh yes, cliffhanger. So anyway, we'll get back to that in a moment. So, where did it all begin for me? Liverpool. My missus had seen on Facebook there was a photo walk, a street photography photo walk, run by Wilkinson Camera, sponsored by Panasonic, of which this video isn't sponsored by either of them. And yeah, I spent a couple of years dabbling in different genres of photography, but I'd not really found anything that I'd really say piqued my interest. So I thought I'd go on this street photography day. And do you know what? It was absolutely amazing. It was like finally I'd found what I've been looking for in photography. And there was one image in particular that captured this one. And I kind of look at this image, and I know that technically it's not amazing, and I don't doubt that it goes against, compositionally, goes against everything that you'd call a good image, or what I sometimes call a printable image. Would I bother printing it and putting it on a canvas and putting it on the wall? That's how I judge some of my images. And so I wouldn't even say it's a printable image. But I look at this woman, and I just want to open up to her. I just want to tell her all my troubles and woes. I can see she's there to help me. You know, I just feel like I could tell her everything and she would never judge me. And then I kind of sat back and thought, yeah, I got all that from one image. And then it really piqued my interest. I was like, wow, yeah, I like street photography. This is it. Capturing moments like this. This is definitely it for me. I see this advert for a competition in London, Photo 24. It's 24 hours, street photography. Get on with it, best image wins. Okay, it was hosted by Photography News, which is a free British photography newspaper, fantastic newspaper, and Nikon. Okay, it's not that I ain't got anything good to say about Nikon, but what more is to say? Anyway, so I go to this competition, and it was a massive learning curve. I've only been doing street photography properly, I would say, for the last 5 months, and it was a massive learning curve. Not at least for the footwear selection. I would have done better. My feet would have come off better if I'd have wore stilettos. I kid you not. But anyway, I learnt the hard way that footwear is key. I'm 24 hours on the street. But coming back to the photography, I've managed to do it again. Yes. I've managed to capture an image, which I'm not saying is the best in the world, printable or a game changer, but it concreted my love for street photography. It kind of confirmed that I'm definitely on the right path of what I want to do with my photography, and it's this one. I call him my Johnny Rotten, okay? And his beardy eye. And I look at this guy and I think, I just want to hear his story. I bet he's got 1,001 punk rock stories to tell you. I bet he lived through all the Sex Pistols and everything. And I just see him and I just think, yes. And I know technically it's not amazing, but I'm not even bothered. I just think, yeah, he sat there with his David Bowie-esque one eye illuminated, one eye in the shadow, rolling his ciggy. I just thought, this guy's got a story to tell. Have I captured the story of this guy in the image? I don't know, that's kind of for you guys to decide, I guess. That's down to the viewer. That's the interaction with the image that people relate to. I'm sure a lot of you, especially if you follow me on Instagram, will know that black and white features heavily in my work. Now, I'm the sort of person that I like to know how things work, but not on a technical scale. I'm not very technically minded. Like, I don't really know the rule of Sunny 16, working out exposure just by staring directly into the sun and burning your retina. I don't know, something like that. I don't work that way, I don't get that. But what I do like is the psychology behind everything. I truly believe to create a relationship with an image, it's all psychology. So at the moment I'm going through a black and white stage. I really want to capture what I would consider a good black and white image that anyone can look at and be drawn into. And again, this is research that I've done, and the way I've come to understand it is that subconsciously we fill in the gaps. So our mind subconsciously adds colour to the image. And whilst our mind is doing that, we're building a relationship with the image. And that is apparently why we like black and white images. As humans, we want to learn. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I like the psychology behind it. And so that's why I'm looking for a nice black and white image, one that I would consider a good black and white image. And that's kind of my pursuit at the moment. Obviously, if I see an image that justifies a colour, like this one taken in the London Austerity March 2015, this image was made for colour, it needs to stay in colour, and I love it for the colour. So obviously I can appreciate the colour side of photography, more than appreciate that. At the risk of a couple of thumbs down, and maybe a bit of hate mail, the decisive moment. I'm not in pursuit of that anymore. I'll explain why. I feel, how can I say this without getting a thumbs down? I feel there's too much emphasis on it. I feel there's too much focus, too much pressure in capturing the decisive moment. Almost as if you don't capture the decisive moment, delete it. And I don't entirely agree with that. Because, one, I don't think it's difficult finding the decisive moment. The decisive moment, I think it's everywhere all the time. It's just whether you choose to pick up the lens and capture it. I think they happen a lot more than maybe people assume that they do. Okay, so first image, decisive moment. 3 girls sat around a mobile phone. It's going to kick off. It's going to kick off big time. 2 of them are nattering, one's looking at a phone. The one with the phone then all of a sudden bolts upright. Yes, camera's ready. Something is about to kick off. Sure enough, as the bloody birds fly south for winter, as the stars align, as the tide comes in, as the bloody earth goes round the sun. So what happened? She turns to her friends, she shows them the image. Shock, horror. And she's smugly happy with the response that she's getting. 10 seconds after that, they've all got the phones in the hand, face down, retweeting or whatever they're doing. I don't know. So the decisive moment is the exact moment she turned to her friends and they all looked in. Leave it a few seconds, let the information absorb. Bosh, the response is what I was looking for. Another example, no. In fact, that's all the examples I'm going to give you because I feel like I'm waffling on now. Decisive moments. I think they happen all the time. You've just got to be there, ready to capture them. And I think sometimes you can see them brewing. It's just a point of waiting. Catch it. Why I am no longer looking for the decisive moment. Ooh, did he really just say that? Yes, he did. Why am I not looking for the decisive moment? I'll tell you why. I've recently been made aware of the Studium and Punctum theory. Now this was, here we go. This was written by Roland Barthes. Barthes. We'll go with Roland. It's definitely Roland. I've got that bit right. Okay. And he described images have been broken down into two things: Studium and Punctum. I'm going to explain what they are, and I'm going to explain now why this is the idea that I use, what I look for when I'm going to capture images on the street. The Studium are all the ingredients that make the image. So taking a Chinese guy into consideration, you've got leading lines that arguably are taking you down the street, maybe away from him. I've never said that my images are technically great. They are what they are. Okay, so the Studium is him, the fact that it's monochrome, it's the exposure, it's the composition, it's the leading lines. The Studium is the image. The Punctum is a detail in the image that flips it around. The Punctum is this guy's mask, that one detail that makes you wonder what's going on. And so you look at it and you're thinking, well, why is he wearing a mask? Who's he on the phone to? Is he FaceTiming someone with a mask on? Is the poison in the air? Is he ill? Is it a joke? What exactly is this guy's story with this mask? The mask is the punctum. Because the key is, and I look at this at all my images, without the punctum, the image is just a standard issue street image. The Studium is there, which is the image. That's it. But with the punctum, it gives it a new angle, a new dynamic. And this is how I've come to understand it, and I could be wrong, but this excites me a bit more. I enjoy this side of it, and this is what I'm ultimately pushing myself to find. Okay, so anyone who watched my Liverpool Comic Con will have potentially seen this image. It's the last one that I threw up on the video. Please check it out at the end. Okay. So, this image, the Stormtrooper getting ready for a day at Comic Con. So, obviously I've gone for monochrome, my favourite flavour. So I'm looking at this image and I'm thinking, gutted. But one thing has saved it. Because ultimately the image, the Studium, is a mismatch of photography mishaps. There's nothing really technically great about it. The Studium's a bit of a mess. The punctum saved the day. And the punctum is the cigarette in the guy's mouth. Can I be sure? Yeah. Because if I remove that cigarette, this image is in the bin. That's it. That's pretty much what I look for when I'm going through my photos. It's pretty much what I look for when I'm out on the street. And hopefully that will kind of, if it sort of encourage anyone to get out there, take images, hopefully that might just spark a bit of inspiration. Maybe giving someone a new idea of, maybe I'll try it this way, maybe I'll look for that, maybe I'll try and find the small detail in the image. Sometimes the image isn't about finding everything in the perfect thirds, as I've shown you in my Stormtrooper one. The image is the fact that he's smoking. That's what's made that story, and that is what I've communicated, and that's the subconscious connection I've made with the image. So, waffled on a bit there, but hopefully it made sense. Please don't hate me, because as I've said, this is all my opinion, this is all my own work, and I know it's not the best work in the world, but I enjoy doing it. So, I want to thank everyone for your... Whoa. The traumatic event. Sorry guys, genuinely nearly forgot that. It's a difficult one for me to talk about, this one, because it was a horrific day. It's a sad moment. In this image, what this young girl had to witness is probably going to stay with her forever. And then it's difficult to talk about. I've never posted this image on any social media. I still think about it sometimes now and again. But yeah, ironically, the decisive moment. Well, a few moments earlier, they were just enjoying a drink. During the event, mother is still enjoying a drink. Maybe she's a little slower. Wasn't quite computing fast enough what was going on behind me. And what had actually happened in this decisive moment is she yawned. Yeah. She yawned. Big old fly-catching yawn. Sorry. Yeah, it was just a yawn. But that's kind of what I mean with the decisive moment. There was nothing horrific. Bar the size of her tonsils. No. There was nothing horrific. She just yawned. And in a way, her expression in this image could arguably be the punctum, because there is nothing going on in the image of interest. And so technically the image that should be in the bin. But it does help me to explain how images are what you take from them. The story of what's happening to create the image could be miles away, miles apart from what you've taken from the image, and I guess that's where the psychology comes in. So, anyway, I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Much appreciated. Comment, like, sub, share, subscribe, hit that dingly bell thing that apparently is the be all and end all of YouTube Live at the moment. I fully appreciate it all. You guys know that. As I've said, next time we're coming to you from Leeds. Fantastic day, and I'm really looking forward to posting that one. But for now, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.